The Baltimore Orioles of the mid to late 1990s were one of the most interesting baseball teams of that era. Now, of course, they suffered a pretty tragic loss in the ALCS at the hands of one Jeffrey Mayer, and we've talked about that before. You can click on the button in the top right hand corner to learn more about that. But the side had a lot more going on. There was probably one of my favorite baseball hats of all time with the realistic bird. Cal Ripken Jr. was doing his thing after passing Lou Gehrig. It was a very, very intriguing group of players, and perhaps none more so than Brady Anderson. Good old Brady Anderson. He's best known as being the leadoff hitter who mysteriously hit 50 home runs in 1996. Now, from a steroids perspective, it's probably a bit unfair to single him out. Every MLB player was swatting dingers for fun that season. And of course, sharing a locker room with one Rafael Palmeiro at Camden Yards certainly didn't do Anderson any favors. But there's a lot more to his story than being a suspected steroid user. And if we're being honest, there's literally been no evidence whatsoever linking Brady Anderson to performance-enhancing drugs. But with that out of the way, let's take a look at a few things you probably don't remember about Brady Anderson. Brady Anderson just may have been one of MLB's first launch angle guys. Now these days, hitters are obsessed with launch angle. It's one of the reasons why home run numbers continue to spiral out of control. Anderson may have been ahead of the curve on this trend, and in fact, before his 50 homer season in 1996, here's what Orioles manager Davey Johnson told Buster Olney at the time. "I don't want him to swing any easier. I want him to drive the ball, but not lift the ball. I've seen him drive the ball the other way, which won't happen if you're trying to lift. I think he's in agreement his swing gets a little too big at times." The agreement about his swing was short-lived as Anderson would go on to swat 50 home runs that season. I think this brings up a very interesting point about if Brady Anderson wasn't necessarily juiced, he was just being a launch angle guy before it was even a thing. Brady Anderson may or may not have been one of the first launch angle guys, but he was definitely one of the first body guys. He was super jacked. Dude was basically a walking GNC ad in his prime, which of course didn't help the steroid allegations against him. Everyone focuses on Brady Anderson's 1996 campaign, but he had a hell of a year in 1992, making his first All-Star Game appearance and finishing 14th in AL MVP voting. He hit 21 home runs and stole 53 bases. However, his case was hurt by the fact teammate Mike Devereaux finished 7th in MVP voting, putting up slightly better numbers. Let me repeat that again. Mike Devereaux finished 7th in MVP voting in 1992. Who knew? Alright, so you probably don't know this about Brady Anderson because it happened recently. But the former Orioles outfielder is dating K-pop singer Stephanie, who just happens to be 23 years younger than him. All I gotta say is, good for Brady Anderson. Holy shit. I had totally forgot this happened back in the day, but yeah, Brady Anderson did a guest spot on Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I can't show you the clip because of copyright reasons, but basically here's what you missed. Sabrina gets a wart, her annoying aunts summon a Baltimore Orioles hat for some apparent reason. Eventually, Brady Anderson shows up to give Sabrina a pep talk she doesn't really care about. The cat is there making one-liners, and that's your episode. But yeah, this is a thing that actually happened. That does it for this look at things you may have not remembered about Brady Anderson. If there's something you would like to see on 5 Things You Don't Remember, you can leave a comment in the comments section below. And until next time, this is Cheyenne Hollis for the Touchback, and make sure you hashtag take it out to the 25.